I was in your position 10 years ago exactly. I was in this class, and which makes me feel really old actually. I had like hair and everything at that point. So, I got a chance to think a lot about my life before this class, after this class, what role studying this material that you're looking at now played in my life. And I wasn't a humanities student myself, but I took 3 humanities courses while I was here, 2 with Andrea Davis and 1 with Andrea Medavarsky. So I had a chance to learn a lot from both of the professors that you get to work with now. And I thought it might be a good point to start by outlining that I want to talk to you about what I got out of this course as a student, and then after graduating, what I think this course has given me that I've kind of learned in time. So as a student, let me start there. I came into this class with a lot of uncertainty about my own ability. I had 1 good year as a student under my belt at this point at Humber College. Prior to that, I had 12 bad years as a student. So if you weigh the 2, I had more reason to think I might do poorly at this university than do well. When I was 15, I failed the literacy test, and I was deemed illiterate by the public school system. And a lot of my work after leaving high school was trying to dig myself out of a hole that I had created, in part because of my own lack of commitment to education. What I was learning while the public school system was calling me illiterate was how to read and write about things that I was really interested in. So I used to write, rap verses. I used to read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I was very invested in reading things that I couldn't really use as a high school student. So coming here was really the first time I got to bring my insights from my personal life, the things that I would read because I was struggling with things in my family or the things I saw my friends go through, and integrate that into the classroom. And maybe that's a feeling that you all have had over the course of this year as well. For me, what that meant was I could really dedicate my full time and attention to the material that a course gave me for the first time. And it brought a certain talent out of me and a certain dedication that I didn't know that I had and I wasn't able to use prior. So what that meant is that the things that we would read about in this class, the things we would debate about, the things we got the chance to write about in our assignments, our exams, what have you, all brought my academic skills up to par with where they needed to be, and also brought them to an even higher level than I thought they might that I might be capable of, quite honestly. That then translated to everything else that I did as a university student here. When you learn how to read and write effectively in one class, it makes you a lot better prepared to do so in the next class, and the next class, and the next class. So what this class, what the 1300 course you're in right now wound up being for me was a catalyst to learn how to do well on a series of other things that I would experience as a first-year student, and then also moving forward into 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year. The benefits that gave me in pursuing graduate school, pursuing work, are incredible. I mean, reading and writing, we take it for granted and we know how to do it well, but when you don't, you feel it every day. And so the development that I got as a student in this course was phenomenal, and something that I think paid off in dividends. And I hope when you think about how you spend your time in this class, you think about it in a similar way, which is this: you will not often get the opportunity to bring your personal life, your struggles, what you see in your community into the classroom. And we can take it for granted sometimes and not really take advantage of those opportunities. But when you have the chance to make something out of it, to read and write about the things that you're going to think about in your free time anyway, because that's your life, you should take advantage of that. So as a student, I was able to do that, and obviously it put me on a path to academic success that I'm very grateful for. In my professional life since leaving here, there's also been other elements, I think, to what this class gave me that have paid off hugely, and things that, in the moment you might not appreciate, but in retrospect you really start to see the benefits of. So I'll give you an example. The struggles I had as a student initially, in large part, came from feeling like I was kind of in a box based on my identity. That being a black person, being a young black person, being a young black man, living in a neighborhood that was mostly black and brown, that it came with certain expectations for the kind of person you had to be. What did it mean to be an authentic person, right? These are the kind of questions that really dominated my mind a lot when I was growing up. When you come into a class like this, you have a chance to really understand the diversity of experiences that black people have, and by extension that humanity has. You get to learn about the different solutions and responses that black people have come to improve their conditions. And it's something that you might not get from the media, from reading the newspaper, because we are constantly a community, like other communities as well, that is constantly being put in boxes. As a professional, I've made choices about what I want to do in my work life. When I left Yale, I went and worked in corporate law. And I was able to spend the time that I put into corporate law and the skills that I developed there to do things for my community as well. Because I don't ever believe that things are an either-or situation, that either you're there for your community or you're making money and learning about business. I think there's a lot of diversity in how you can live your life. But often you feel pressure to make certain kinds of decisions and to be a certain way. And when you read about people in this class and the people that make up black history, you learn about the diversity of decisions that black people have made and the good reasons why they have made them. You will have a week, if you haven't already had it, where you will read about Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey and W.B. Du Bois, and you'll read about them together and you'll talk about them and their ideas kind of side by side. And it's one very small example of the kind of diversity of thought that black people and throughout our history and in the present day have produced about how we move forward into a better world. And knowing that when you face moments in your own life where you feel pressured and like you're being put in a box is really important. Because the truth is that there's a world out there that is constantly going to tell you there's things you can do and things you can't do. There's decisions you can make and decisions you can't make. That there's jobs that are there for you based on what you look like or where you come from, and there's jobs that aren't. Right? There are people who will force their politics onto you and say because of what you look like or because of where you come from, you have to think a certain way, that you have to believe in certain kinds of policies, that based on their sense of authenticity, they will force a reality on you that you should be welcome to reject. Because again, there's a diversity of what black people have experienced in this world, and there's a diversity of solutions that black people have put forward. And that's what this course gives you a chance to learn about. And from that, you will draw tremendous strength moving forward to do what your conscience and your heart tells you is right, and to bring something fresh and innovative to a world where the problems that we're being asked to solve are too often feel ingrained in the status quo. That we've accepted certain inequalities are just the way things are supposed to be. And that's not the case. But to challenge them, we need new ideas and new perspectives. And the same old way of doing things doesn't work. And when you look at our history, it's a great story of people trying new things and being themselves. And I suggest you do the same.